Welcome back to UK Political Insight, where we cut through the nonsense and tell it like it is. Now, picture this. You're working 2 jobs, barely scraping by, watching your tax bill climb higher than Rishi Sunak's helicopter budget, and somewhere in Britain, there's a migrant hotel nicer than the last Travelodge you stayed in. Feeling warm and fuzzy about that? No? But before we proceed, please don't forget to hit the subscribe button for more updates on the UK Political Insight. Thank you. Well, neither is TalkTV's Alex Phillips, and boy, did she let everyone know about it this weekend. Buckle up, because this one's about to get spicy. So here's what went down on Sunday. Alex Phillips, the human embodiment of saying what everyone's thinking but too polite to say out loud, absolutely demolished the Labour government's immigration policies on her TalkTV show. And when I say demolished, I mean she took a sledgehammer to the entire thing and set the rubble on fire for good measure. Her main gripe? Foreign nationals getting the red carpet treatment while British taxpayers foot the bill. Free houses, free welfare, and according to Phillips, some are having 7 kids on the government dime. Her exact words? It's an absolute joke. And honestly, you could practically see the steam coming out of her ears through the screen. Now, Alex Phillips isn't exactly known for holding back. This is the same woman who's been working since she was 14, grinding away like the rest of us mortals, and she's had enough of watching people waltz into the country and immediately qualify for benefits she's been paying into for decades. It's the kind of frustration that's bubbling up in living rooms across Britain, whispered over pints in pubs, muttered in Tesco queues, but rarely said out loud on national television. Phillips? She's got no such reservations. But wait, there's more to this saga than just one angry presenter having a go at the government. The real catalyst for Phillips's meltdown was Labour MP Shabana Mahmood, who's currently the Home Secretary and apparently having the political equivalent of walking through a minefield blindfolded. Mahmood's been discussing Labour's proposed overhaul of the asylum system, and let's just say it's gone down about as well as a vegan sausage roll at a butcher's convention. The asylum seeker debate has been hotter than a vindaloo for months now, particularly when it comes to those arriving by small boat across the channel. Mahmood's plan to reduce the numbers has created tension within her own party, which is impressive considering Labour's supposed to be united in opposition to the Conservatives. Some MPs reckon she's not going far enough. Others probably think she's going too far. It's political whack-a-mole, and everyone's got a different mallet. Here's where it gets really interesting, though. Mahmood dropped an absolute bombshell by claiming that Britain is becoming more racist. Not just a bit more racist, mind you, but significantly more racist. She even had a go at her own Labour colleagues for allegedly fanning the flames of racism in the UK. That's right, she's essentially turned around and told her own team they're part of the problem. Talk about airing your dirty laundry in public. It's like watching someone set fire to their own house to prove they need better insurance. Mahmood got deeply personal about this, telling the Times that being called horrific racial slurs is nothing new to her. She's experienced it, her family's experienced it, and according to her, it's been ramping up recently. Her parents, siblings, cousins, constituents, they've all been on the receiving end of vile abuse. People being sworn at, told to go home, the whole disgusting gamut. And she's pointing the finger at politicians, including some of her own colleagues, for creating an environment where this kind of behavior feels acceptable. Now, this is where Phillips's argument comes roaring back into the picture. According to her, Mahmood's approach is essentially shutting down legitimate debate about immigration. By framing concerns about immigration spending and asylum seeker accommodation as inherently racist, Phillips argues that ordinary Britons are being silenced. They're scared to ask where their money's going. They're terrified of being labeled bigots for wondering why undocumented migrants seem to be getting support while British families struggle. It's creating what Phillips sees as a climate of fear around a topic that should be open for honest discussion. And let's be real for a second here. This is the tightrope walk of modern British politics. On one side, you've got genuine concerns about immigration policy, asylum costs, and the strain on public services. On the other, you've got the very real problem of racism and xenophobia that needs calling out. The question is, can we have a conversation about one without it automatically meaning you're guilty of the other? Phillips thinks we can't anymore, and Mahmood's comments seem to support that view, even if unintentionally. The numbers don't lie, by the way. The cost of housing asylum seekers in hotels has been eye-watering. We're talking hundreds of millions of pounds, money that could be going into the NHS, schools, or literally anything else that benefits the people who've been paying into the system their entire lives. And when Alex Phillips talks about working since she was 14 and watching others get benefits immediately, that's hitting a nerve with a lot of people who feel exactly the same way. It's not about hating foreigners, it's about fairness, or at least the perception of fairness in a system that feels increasingly broken. Mahmoud's getting it wrong about the rise in racist incidents. The statistics back her up there. But Phillips isn't wrong either about people feeling shut down when they try to discuss immigration policy critically. It's two conversations happening at once, both valid, both important, but somehow managing to talk past each other rather than to each other. And in the middle of it all, we've got asylum seekers stuck in hotels for months on end, British families struggling to make ends meet, and politicians from all sides using the whole mess as a political football. The Home Secretary's had quite the time of it recently. She's been taking flack from all directions for her immigration reforms. Some say they're too harsh, others say they're too soft, and she's caught in the middle looking like someone who's just realized they've accidentally agreed to referee a cage match. Her comments about racism in her own party and among politicians generally have added another layer of controversy to an already volatile situation. It's political dynamite, and the fuse is definitely lit. What Phillips is really tapping into here is something deeper than just policy disagreements. It's frustration, exhaustion, and a sense that the priorities are all wrong. When you're working multiple jobs and still struggling, then you see headlines about migrant accommodation costing a fortune, something snaps. And when politicians respond to those concerns by essentially calling you racist for asking questions, that snap becomes a full-blown break. Phillips is giving voice to that break, whether you agree with her or not. The small boat arrivals keep making headlines because the optics are terrible. Watching people cross one of the world's busiest shipping lanes in inflatable dinghies is horrifying on a human level, but it's also sparking rage among people who see it as queue jumping. Legal immigration routes exist, they're told, so why should these arrivals get special treatment? Meanwhile, those defending the asylum seekers point out that many are fleeing genuinely dangerous situations and have no other option. Both things can be true simultaneously, but good luck having that nuanced conversation on Twitter. Labor's finding itself in an impossible position. They've traditionally been seen as more sympathetic to immigration and asylum seekers, but they're also trying to win over voters who are deeply concerned about uncontrolled immigration. Starmer's government is attempting to thread that needle. And based on Phillips's explosion and the reaction to Mahmoud's comments, they're not doing a particularly stellar job of it. They're getting hammered from the left for being too harsh and from the right for being too soft. It's the political equivalent of trying to satisfy everyone at a dinner party and ending up with a menu nobody wants. The 7 kids comment from Phillips might sound extreme, but it's the kind of specific example that sticks in people's minds. Whether it's accurate or representative doesn't matter as much as the fact that it resonates with people who feel they're being taken advantage of. It's become a symbol of a system gone wrong, real or imagined. And in politics, perception is often more powerful than reality.